All right, Shalom. First, let's start by saying all praise to Yahweh by Shemel Shai, by Shema Kakadaji. The honest elders and apostles of will and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. As you can see, the title says Female Athletes Worry Biden's Order on Transgender Athlete Will End Girls' Sports. Now, the first thing that Biden did when he got into office was pass his law for the LGBT community. And then, they finna get into what's going on with it. And then I'm going to bring out some precepts.
One of President Biden's first executive orders was to allow transgender athletes to participate in girls' sports. Quoting his order, children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports. So let's talk about the real-world impact of this action with a track athlete from Danbury, Connecticut, Alana Smith, and Alliance Defending Freedom Legal Counsel, Christiana Holcomb. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for having us.
I'm going to start by playing something that your mom, Alana, said about you going into competition under these circumstances. Here's what she said.
Alana and I were talking about what her strategy was going to be for the day, and she looked at me and said, Mom, it really doesn't matter because I'm running against the boys today. I won't win.
So, Alana, what kind of position does this put you in as a biologically born female athlete?
It's really disappointing because I know that me and all the other biological females work really hard at track practice, and we work hours a day just to shave off tenths of a second for our times, and it's just really disappointing to know who's going to win the race before it even starts.
Going on, the ACLU says this. Their deputy director for transgender justice states that attempt to bar trans girls from sports, regardless of age or of transition, medical intervention, or anything else, with the new federal administration will now be risking lawsuits by the federal government, Justice Department intervention, and the loss of federal funding. So where does the legal fight go here, Christiana?
Well, this order is an irresponsible abuse of power. It is unlawful, and it effectively eviscerates women's sports for young women like Alana. Look, we already know what the impact of these policies are. We've seen it play out in Connecticut, where 2 biological males have swiped 15 women's state championship titles over the course of just a few seasons. So this will have a devastating impact on women's sports if it's allowed to proceed.
I want to read something from one of the transgender athletes who has been at the center of a lot of these conversations and cases, saying running has been so important for my identity, my growth as a person, and my ability to survive in a world that discriminates against me. It's Andrea Yearwood. I'm thankful that I live in Connecticut, where I can be treated as a girl in all aspects of life and not face discrimination at school. So, Alana, what is your message to these athletes who say this is an important part of their life and their identity?
I just want them to realize how unfair the situation was. Like, for example, at regionals, on freshman year, I should have gotten a silver medal. Instead, I received a bronze. And it's not really about the medal or the placement, but it's about knowing that all my hard work paid off. Because like I said, we spend hours a week training just to shave off the tiniest amount of seconds for our times. And it's just really disappointing to know that our hard work isn't really paying off how it should be.
And I know there are scholarships that are in play a lot of times. It's competitive. You're talking about a college education or the ability to get help with that. I want to play something from Kara Dansky from the Women's Human Rights Campaign. She is pretty far left, a feminist who would describe herself as very far left. This is what she said earlier tonight when talking with Tucker Carlson.
What this will have the impact of doing is obliterating women and girls' sex-based rights at a federal level. This is rank misogyny, and it is coming from the left. 2, there is a tremendous amount of money.
So, Christiana, this has been one of those things that we talk about. It's so interesting to see groups coming together from far left, far right, across the spectrum, coming together to stand up and say, as women's rights advocates, though they may disagree on all kinds of other things like abortion and, workplace issues, they agree here that they think that this is fundamentally unfair to women. But this is an administration. We have our first female vice president. President Biden has talked quite a bit about women's rights and wanting to respect them.
And yet, as we saw with this executive order, the Biden administration has sent a very clear message to young women like Alana. You don't matter. Your athletic opportunities, your scholarship opportunities do not matter. And if a biological male identifies as female, he's welcome to sideline you in your own sport. So this is not something the American people want. As you mentioned, people on the right and the left agree. It's simply not fair to displace young women in their own sports.
Alana, what do you want to say to folks out there who are listening to this debate, this conversation, following these court cases, about what this means for you and your future?
It means everything to me, considering that I want to run in college and I even want to go pro, and to know that some girls won't be able to make it to states or regionals because only the top 6 or 8 can go, and the transgender athletes are taking up spots. It's really disappointing because, I was lucky enough to go to regionals and states, but I know that there's other biological females that weren't able to. So I just hope that they realize that our sport should be fair.
Alana and Christiana, we will follow these legal debates and these cases and your particular case as well. Thank you for your time.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start with this precept. This is Psalm chapter 82, verse 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. Let's talk about the people of this world, man. Darkness meaning they're taking after the philosophies of Esau. Everything that's against the scriptures. Primary example, this whole LGBT situation. People following people acting gay or are a part of the LGBT community, which is going to get them destroyed, because that's against the Bible, man. It says they walk on in darkness, all the foundations of the earth are out of course, right, man? You got women ruling over the man, you got the whole LGBT community, you got the feminist movement. The money system is all messed up and everything. Why? Because that's this devil, man. People thought that Esau was righteous. He came in, he swore on the Bible, but he don't uphold none of the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Esau not even supposed to touch the scriptures, man. So, give me 1 second while I grab this precept. This is Slovakia. 1 second. All right, Slovakia. This is Psalm chapter 50, verse 16. It says, "But unto the wicked, the Most High says, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?" That's the law. Esau opposing is righteous, calling himself upholding the scriptures. They swearing on and everything. Call himself trying to teach the scriptures. Slovakia. But it says, unto the wicked, right? But he's the wicked, man, according to the scriptures. The Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? The scriptures, man. Oh, Psalms 50. 1 second, Slovakia. All right, Psalm chapter 50, verse 17 says, "Seeing thou hatest instruction and casting my words behind thee." Right, man. They come in, they swear on the Bible, and they give homosexuals rights. They pass laws, legislation saying you have to accept them in everything. even if they're children, which and all that is being, it's all from how much smell shop, all is being pushed on the kids, man. You know, the kids don't know no right from wrong. Damn, it's like it. Children don't know no right from wrong, you know. But that's the agenda Esau picking because, I mean, the agenda Esau playing because the Lord has his chosen, his elect, man. You know, and that's what these women get because they women think they equal to man now. Now they have to compete with men that want to be women. All right, so I think this is this is Revelation chapter 11, verse 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. Right, talking about the Israelites, the Black Stars and Native Americans, man. You know, they're dead because they don't know who they are according to the Bible. The great city is talking about America, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, right? Because Sodom, this is the primary example, man. You know, it's all type of laws being passed to help out the Sodomites, you know. In Egypt, because America took after the philosophies of Egypt. Where also our Lord was crucified, Yahushua. Yahushua was crossed out. Crucified means to be crossed out. Didn't nobody know, well, first of all, nobody knows the Lord's name. Lots and lots of people finding out that the Lord is black. Or brown, Salakia. You know, so on and so forth, man. But there's going to be a judgment behind this. You know, Esau, the elites, they know it. So I can. So I can. This 2 Peter chapter 2. So I can grabbing it real quick. This 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4. It says, "For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell," which is talking about us, and we got put in this flesh, "and delivered them into the chains of darkness," see, to be reserved unto judgment, right? "And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, because that world was wicked too, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood after the world of the ungodly," see, "and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes," right? Sodom and Gomorrah. Look up them cities, man. Look up what that word Sodom mean. "And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly," man. And that's what's going on, man. This world, all this legislation, everything is going to get this place hit with thermonuclear missiles. You know, and that's what's coming, man. But the elect going to be delivered, man. So, you know, I don't want to drag it out too much. Hold on, let me see. I think I had one more for you. Let me see. This is Jude chapter 1 verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, because it was 5 cities, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire, man. So Sodom and Gomorrah was an example of what not to do, or pay the consequences of being hit with thermonuclear missiles, man. So I don't want to drag it out too much longer. Call Allah Yabashim Shai. Demo honors to the elders and apostles that rule well. And salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.